The 1967 Ford Galaxie stands as one of the most underrated American full-size cars of its era. It carried a powerful stance, graceful curves, and the spirit of raw American muscle under a full-sized luxury exterior. This wasn't just a car you drove. It was a car you commanded. As it rolled down the boulevard or thundered down the drag strip, it made its presence known. There was a reason it turned heads in '67, and there's still a reason enthusiasts talk about it today. Ford designed the Galaxie to be more than just a comfortable cruiser. They gave it weight, length, and style, but underneath all that polish was brute power waiting to explode. Under the long, sweeping hood of many Galaxies lay the monstrous 7.0-liter 428 cubic inch V8. When unleashed, it sent a deep growl through the twin pipes that told the world this wasn't just some luxury liner, it was built to blow the doors off anything brave enough to challenge it at a stoplight. The 1967 model year introduced changes that marked it as the most aggressive and refined Galaxie up to that point. It had a reworked grille, a more muscular body line, and taillights that extended horizontally in a full-width design. The lines were clean, and the presence was bold. From the front, it looked like it was ready to charge. From the rear, it looked like it had already left the competition behind. Every design detail had a purpose. The chrome trim wasn't just decorative, it was like armor outlining the strength beneath. Step inside a 1967 Galaxie and you'd find a spacious cabin drenched in vinyl and chrome. The dashboard spread wide, wrapping around the driver like a cockpit. The steering wheel was large, thin-rimmed, and gave you the feeling that you were piloting something powerful. Slide the gear selector into drive, press down on that gas pedal, and the Galaxie came alive with a force that seemed too wild for its size. It didn't just move, it surged. The acceleration wasn't instant in a jumpy way. It was smooth but relentless, like a freight train gaining speed with every second. There was something hypnotic about the way the Galaxie handled its power. It wasn't twitchy or unpredictable. It was deliberate. You could feel the rear wheels bite into the asphalt as the torque shoved you back into the seat. It wasn't about finesse, it was about dominance. When you stomped on the throttle, the Galaxie didn't ask questions. It answered with noise and motion. On highways, the Galaxie could cruise all day at high speed, with its big block barely breaking a sweat. It soaked up bumps with its long wheelbase and soft suspension, but if you needed to pass, all it took was a little throttle and you'd feel that giant engine roar to life again. The sheer momentum of the Galaxie in motion was thrilling. It had the soul of a muscle car and the comfort of a full-sized sedan. Few cars managed to blend those two personalities the way the Galaxie did. The 1967 model year was also notable because Ford began integrating more advanced safety and handling features. Front disc brakes became available, giving the big Galaxie some much-needed stopping power. Power steering helped tame the beast at low speeds, making it easier to maneuver without taking away from the driving feel. Even though this car weighed over 2 tons, it responded well to an assertive driver. It didn't want to be babied. It wanted to be driven with confidence. The 428 engine wasn't the only power plant available, but it was the one everyone remembers. It produced up to 345 horsepower and enough torque to tow a house. Paired with AC6 automatic or even a manual in some configurations, it delivered brutal straight-line performance. The sound it made when revved high was pure American muscle, deep, rich, and menacing. It was the kind of car you'd start up just to hear the engine before you even pulled out of the driveway. The exterior colors available for the Galaxie in '67 were rich and elegant, deep blues, bright reds, jet blacks, and sleek silvers that gave each car its own distinct personality. When polished to a shine, the Galaxie didn't just look good, it looked important. You didn't just own a Galaxie. You wore it like a badge of pride. It stood as a symbol of an era when power and design walked hand in hand. The Galaxie's trim levels varied, from the more basic Custom and 500 to the luxurious Limited. Each had its own appeal, but it was the performance packages that made enthusiasts take notice. If you ordered it right, the Galaxie could surprise even a Chevelle or GTO in a straight-line sprint. It was deceptive in its size. People underestimated it, until they heard the engine growl and watched it vanish into the distance. Ford also offered a convertible version of the Galaxie in 1967. Top down, engine rumbling, the wind slicing through your hair, it was the kind of driving experience that doesn't really exist anymore. It wasn't about lap times or fuel economy. It was about freedom, about presence, the kind of feeling that made you forget the world and just enjoy the road ahead. The Galaxie wasn't just a car for car lovers. It became part of pop culture. It was featured in TV shows, films, and in the garages of thousands of Americans who didn't care about luxury badges or European prestige. They wanted something big, bold, and brutally fast. And that's exactly what the 1967 Galaxie delivered. Whether cruising through small towns or thundering across interstates, it made a statement with every mile. The chassis was sturdy and could handle the abuse that came with the power. Suspension was soft by modern standards, but back then, it gave a ride quality that felt like floating on a cloud. That didn't mean it couldn't handle curves, though. With a steady hand and a heavy foot, you could toss it around more than most expected. It wasn't nimble, but it was capable. It was raw American engineering done right. What makes the 1967 Ford Galaxie so beloved today isn't just its power or its design. It's the feeling it gives. The sense that you're driving something meaningful. Something mechanical and honest. Every rev, every shift, every bump in the road reminds you that you're behind the wheel of a machine that was built during a golden age. Before computers and sensors. Before plastic-dominated dashboards. Back when cars were made of steel, gas was cheap, and horsepower ruled the streets. For collectors and restorers, the 67 Galaxie represents a true canvas of American performance. Finding one in good condition is getting harder every year, but those who do hold on to them with pride. Restored Galaxies today can fetch solid money at auctions, especially when they're equipped with the original 428 big block. But for most owners, it's not about resale value. It's about connection. It's about nostalgia, about taking something classic and keeping it alive for the next generation. There's something magical about turning the key and hearing that old engine rumble to life. About watching the needle on the speedometer climb. About the way people turn to look when it rolls by. The 1967 Ford Galaxie wasn't the most famous muscle car. It didn't always get the magazine covers. But it was a sleeper. A powerhouse hiding under a full-size body. And those who know it, respect it. Even today, when surrounded by modern cars filled with tech and silence, the Galaxie feels like a rebellion. It's loud, it's unapologetic, and it's authentic. In a world of hybrids and quiet electric motors, a 67 Galaxie idling at a stoplight sounds like thunder. It doesn't whisper, it roars. And when you drive it, you don't just travel. You experience. The road bends to its will. The sky seems wider. The journey feels bigger. The 1967 Ford Galaxie will blow not because of just its specs, but because it embodies an era, a feeling, and a spirit that refuses to be forgotten. It's not just a car, it's a legend on wheels.